Hello and welcome to Dishing Delights. My name is Jenica and today I am going to share with you 3 slow cooker meals. The first meal we are going to start off with is smothered pork steaks. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these pork steaks and I'm going to season them with salt and pepper. I'm going to flip them and season the other sides. These are bone-in pork steaks. You can use boneless if you would like, but these are just what I had on hand. As you can see, there's a good layer of fat on these pork steaks. If you would like to, you can trim that up, but I'm just gonna add it in. I'm gonna put these back into the bag that they were in. And then to this, I'm gonna add a half a cup of all-purpose flour. And then I'm gonna mix these up. Now you're gonna save this flour, so don't throw it out. But right now I'm gonna add these to a super hot cast iron skillet with some bacon grease in it, and we're gonna fry them up. I'm gonna do these just one at a time. I'm gonna do them 1 minute on each side. And to that, I'm gonna add my onion that's diced. I'm just breaking apart that onion. To this, I'm gonna add a couple pads of butter. A little bit less than a tablespoon. Let's turn my heat down a little bit. And now that those are cooked down, I'm gonna add my flour into the pan. And I'm gonna let that cook for a minute. Adding just a little bit more oil to this. Perfect. Now that that is done, I'm gonna turn off my heat and I'm gonna move to the slow cooker. To this slow cooker, I'm gonna add in my pork chops, or my pork steaks, excuse me. Then I'm going to add in my onion mixture. I am also gonna add in 2 cups of chicken broth. Now I know mushrooms are a controversial food, so this is perfect just as is. Just put the lid on it and set it on low. But I'm gonna add in 2 cans of mushrooms because me and my husband love mushrooms. Now I'm gonna set this on low and I'm gonna let it sit for 4 hours and then I'm gonna check on it. This is where real life happened, and it ended up sitting on low for 6 hours, but it turned out perfect. These are so tender. I ended up serving these over rice, and they were absolutely delightful. The next meal I am going to share with you is a roast with gravy. Now this roast is just under 3 pounds, and I'm searing it on a medium heat. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper. Perfect. While that's sizzling, I'm gonna cut up my veggies. Now I just cut my potatoes in half for roast. I also keep my onions in large chunks. That way it's easier for me to pick it out of the crock pot because I'm the only one that eats the onion. Now our veggies are prepped. We're gonna check out the roast. Now that the roast is browned on both sides, I'm gonna move it to the slow cooker. Alright, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set this roast into the crock pot. Then I'm gonna add in my veggies. So what I just did is I took that cream of mushroom soup and I'm gonna mix it with this onion soup mix. And I'm gonna fill this up about halfway with water. And I'm gonna add that. And then mix all of this together. And now I'm just gonna glaze this over my roast. That looks disgusting, but smells delicious. I have had this on high for 4 hours, so I'm gonna check it out. What I'm gonna do is I move those veggies to the bottom. I'm gonna cover it again and put it on low because we're not gonna eat for another hour and a half. Before I serve this, I'm gonna take the veggies and I'm gonna move them to another container. Now that my veggies are separated, I'm just gonna leave that gravy and that meat in the crock pot and I'm gonna serve it up like that. It's a lot easier to have these separated when serving. I'm just gonna take some of this meat and shred it apart. I'm just gonna take some of that gravy and pour it over my potato. And that is what's for dinner tonight. This was delicious. The next meal we're gonna make is Mississippi chicken. All right, I have my chicken that I had thawing out in the fridge. Oh my gosh, this smells so delicious. Now, these are bone in, so afterwards I'm gonna have to take them out. Oh, let me see if I can flip this. That way they're both skin side up. And then I'm just gonna put this on high. It is 1 p.m. right now. I'm gonna check on it at like 5:30, and then we'll go from there. Now, if you missed the meal prep that I did where I made this chicken, you know that I didn't put any butter in it. And I understand that the recipe usually does have butter in it, but I have cooked this many times without adding the butter, and it tastes just as good. Well, maybe not just as good, but it tastes good. We cook with enough butter, so every once in a while it's nice to just leave that out. I ended up serving this with corn and a Red Lobster biscuit loaf that I'm going to share in another What's for Dinner. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and be sure to stick around for more videos.